Um, so I wanted to talk about prayer because it's something that's really close to my heart. I've been there where you pray and you feel like you're seeking Him and you flat on the floor, you are at your end, you are frustrated to the point of no return, and you're like, dude, if this doesn't work, I'm done. I'm taking a break. I'm done. And I've been done before. And I've been in college. I had this one point where I was just like, okay, God, I'm taking a break from you, not because you're not good, but because I'm not good, and I want to be able to seek you for who you are and not for your hand and what you can give me. I feel like a lot of times when we go to prayer to Him, and I'm still guilty of it, going to prayer to Him, and I want something from Him. I don't necessarily want Him in His presence, and I don't want to necessarily hang around and chill with Him. I just want what I want. I want money. I want clothes. I want a car. I want a boyfriend. I want more friends. I want a career. And it's more like, you're my sugar daddy, and so you give me what I want, I give you what you want. And until you give me what I want, I'm not going to give you what you want, because I don't necessarily plan on giving you what you want anyway. It's almost like we try and manipulate God. No, not almost. We do. We do try and manipulate Him. But I try not to let that get me down. And I tell people, don't let that get you down, because we're not perfect. And He knows that. I mean, not that we should use that as an excuse, but it's one of those things that's like, He knows we're going to mess up. We're His kids. Dude, He knows us inside and out. He knows our anatomy. He knows our personality. And He knew it all before we even came on this earth. Before we were born in our mother's wombs. Before we were born and came out and said, hello world, here I am. He knew us right before then. And He planned it. But for Him, it's like we are His children. And He loves for us to come to Him and say, hey, God, I need you. It doesn't matter how we say it. It doesn't matter if you're on your knees and you're broken down and you're crying and you're in the streets and you don't care about saving face, you don't care about ego. It doesn't matter if you have a big head and you're asking it for it, and you're a big ego and you're rich and you don't feel like you need anything. The point is, you asked. One of my pastors said this the other day. God doesn't move until you pray. And that just really settled in with me. And it's not like that's the first time I heard something like that, but it's really the first time I heard it in those words. And it was at that moment that that man spoke those words that it really hit me hard. It's something how people can carry the same message, but it hits you differently each time. That's why it's really important for you to speak. Now, I have a picture in my room it says, be heard. Because I have this history of not speaking my mind, of not saying what I feel, or not saying what God puts on my heart, because I'm afraid that there's going to be conflict afterwards and that people are not going to like me. Well, I'm done with people pleasing at this point. I'm just like, God, I want to be a little Jesus. And if you tell me to say it, I'm going to have to be ballsy and say it. You think about it, Jesus was ballsy. That dude said, ooh, you gotta read your word. I'm gonna say it for you. I'm not gonna even go there with you. You gotta read your word, and you're gonna see. Jesus was not some kind of mad lion, and you could step all over him. He was very assertive, and he said what needed to be said. He spoke to situations, no matter what people thought, because he was there to do his Father's will and not people pleasing. So that's one thing. But now I have to come back to you with something else.